Hello students, welcome to class. I'm Miss KADIE, that vegan teacher, and I am here despite having not had such a great day, finding out that somebody has stolen my identity over on TikTok and is using my image to make it seem like I would do awful things to animals. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, it was really bad to see that. I cried, and it's still bothering me to this day that somebody can steal my identity and use it to edit my videos in such a way that they put different text boxes on top of the actual words I've said, which means that there are millions and millions of people right now who think that I am this woman who promotes this kind of cruelty, and it is very upsetting. I have tried to talk to TikTok and ask them to take it down. I've sent them things. I've sent them my identification to prove to them that that is a fake account and that mine is the real account. But we'll talk about that later. I wiped away the tears and I'm sitting here, and I'm going to try to go on and talk about other things for the moment. Stay tuned. Subscribe if you want to know what happens, and if you want to go and see my personal TikTok account, it is called That Vegan Teacher Who Sings. But first, today, before we talk about anything else, we're going to be looking at Candace Owens' video here. And she is somebody who is a commentator. She is somebody who I agree with in many ways, but I also find it disappointing that she often, in the middle of her programs, advertises for meat, which is disgraceful. It is horrible that this woman, who does make a lot of sense in a lot of her other points, could be so narcissistic, so cruel, and so ignorant that she doesn't know what happens to the animals. Now, I have a little sign here that I had written a while back, and I'll just show you this. It says, "The resources needed to produce a steak: 3 football fields of land." Just picture that. 800,000 gallons of water. 18,000 pounds of feed. A plant-based diet is the single best way to reduce your environmental impact and fight global warming. It's time to become vegan from now on. And that's for you, Candace Owens. But, you know, we're always open. We don't know what Candace is going to say here today. So let's have a listen, and we'll be giving some check marks and some X's, depending on what comes out of her mouth. You guys ready? Let's do it.
Check the ingredients, check the ingredients, do it right away. If it's not vegan, back the fuck away. Don't buy any eggs, any dairy, or any meat. Instead, go grab something vegan when you're thirsty or when you want to eat.
Candace Owens.
Dramatic music at the beginning.
All right, where do I begin here? I think this is actually a topic that I need to sort of slowly unpack. I need to slowly unpack my various frustrations just in my personal experiences. And this isn't going to surprise you. It's pretty on brand for me. I discuss often with you how frustrated I am, really just with the human species, but especially the human species that is lingering in West.
Oh my God, she is frustrated with the human species. Good job, Candace. You get a check mark for that. You're absolutely right. So many humans are horrible. I mean, they pay people to murder animals, and hopefully you don't do that anymore.
And I think for this weekend, and maybe for the past couple of months, this journey through my frustration begins with a box of mac and cheese.
What? Mac and cheese. I didn't hear her say vegan cheese. X! Oh boy. Not sure about this. Mac and cheese. You know you can have vegan mac and cheese, right? Just Google it. Easy to make.
Annie's cheddar mac and cheese. It's some...
What did she say? Something cheddar? What? Let's go back.
This weekend, and maybe for the past couple of months, this journey through my frustration begins with a box of mac and cheese. Annie's cheddar mac and cheese. It's...
What is she saying, cheddar? Something cheddar? I don't know what she's saying. It sounds like saying mayonnaise, but I don't know. Anyway, mayonnaise can be vegan. Just get the vegan brand, but I don't know what she's saying.
Something that my toddler son and my infant daughter enjoy very much.
You give your infant daughter mac and cheese, like out of the package. Your infant daughter. Processed foods. X! Oh boy. No.
My husband and I have been looking for a weekend babysitter. It's not exactly a locked-in position. Just like most parents, we try to get out of the house for a couple of hours on the weekend, whether we're going to dinner, and then we have this routine where we go to the farmer's market, and it's not exactly conducive to my toddler, who just absolutely loves to run around and can't sit still. So we go for...
What? Why would you not bring your daughter to the farmer's market? Why would you not bring your child to see a bunch of vegetables and fruits? It's a farmer's market. You're outdoors. Why would you want to get a babysitter for that? Your child needs to see X. Children belong with their parents on the weekend. You work during the week, so you should spend the weekend with them. I mean, okay, you're allowed to go on a date once in a while, but that's not the right reason. Saying that you don't want to bring your toddler to the farmer's market. It doesn't make sense. You know, this is how she will look and see where all the beautiful fruits and vegetables come from. She'll see some cucumbers, she'll see some broccoli, she'll see celery and tomatoes and carrots and potatoes. Right? Meet some neighbors. Let her run around. That's great. Chase her. That's your job.
For our mornings on Saturday to spend some time. And we've just been having a really interesting, intellectually compelling experience with these various young women who we have realized have professional limits, I would say, limits to their capabilities. And it really starts with this box of mac and cheese. I'm not kidding when I say I've lived in Nashville for a little over 2 years now, 2.5 years, and maybe we've seen about 8 of these women who cannot make a box of mac and cheese.
You've seen 8 women who don't know how to boil water? That's bizarre.
All you're required to do, in case you are somebody who's going, actually, Candace, that's actually a limitation for me too. How do you make a box of mac and cheese? You just boil the noodles. There's no other hack. There's no funny trick. You're not making anything from scratch. You just have to be able to boil the noodles.
Noodles are fine as long as they are a whole grain, like whole wheat. That should be fine.
And then you add the little organic cheddar packet.
No. X. No matter how much you say organic, Candace, it's not going to make up for the fact that that's a bunch of chemicals and stolen mammary secretions from a cow. Unless it's just the chemicals and has like actually no animal product in it. Either way, it's not good. Make your own. Google it. Google vegan mac and cheese, best vegan mac and cheese, and find out how to do it yourself. It's not hard.
It with a little bit of milk. It's on the box.
Milk. Oh, X. No, you didn't say soy milk. You didn't say oat milk.
Drink soy milk, oat milk, rice milk, almond milk. Don't steal milk from a cow. Be vegan, start right now. Follow that vegan teacher. She will show you how.
I was really hoping that I was going to be able to agree with her on some of this stuff.
Instructions, just 3 parts. And where they get tricked up is that on the box, it says to boil, I'm not kidding, for 8 minutes. And so they set their timers for exactly 8 minutes. And it turns out that really the box should probably say 12. So when they see these hard noodles that have not yet expanded, they don't care. They just pour it in and they add the cheese.
It's called al dente. You know, where they're like a little bit chewy? You never heard of that? They don't have to be complete mush.
And then my kids won't eat it because it's the noodles aren't cooked.
At 8 minutes they're not cooked? That's suspicious. I mean, was the water boiling? Seems weird. Anyway, let's keep listening.
And I've never known people that just don't actually say, well, maybe the noodles need a little more time. And this doesn't look like how, I don't know, mac and cheese should look. It shouldn't be hard. It shouldn't be like a rock. It looks exactly as it looks when I put it in the boiling hot water. And so this has been a thing, and it's been a common theme. And this weekend, I have to tell you guys, I really hit a limit because we keep seeing these young girls that come in and they're entirely helpless. It's not just because they don't cook, which I guess is like a new cute girl thing. I don't know how to cook. Oh, I actually don't do anything. I don't know how to clean. I don't know how to cook. But I'm here and I'm breathing and I'm excited about an opportunity.
I'll bet you, though, that these girls, young girls as you called them, you didn't call them women, young girls? I'm not sure how old they are, but I'll bet you they're good at putting on makeup. And they probably know the names of all of them and how to blend all the colors really well and all the foundation and everything. Probably really good also at putting on fake nails. Probably know all the types of glue and how long to push it for and all that stuff. Probably also really good with pronouns. They probably memorized all 36 of them, or maybe there's more now. I don't know. Yeah, I'll bet you. But anyway, let's keep listening.
This is the sort of a human being that we are producing, and I wonder where it starts. I think about this all the time. I had one young woman who was scared to park her car in the driveway. I'm not kidding. We had to valet her car. If you're thinking like, oh, this must be a very tricky, scary driveway, maybe it's like on a hill or something, and she's afraid it's going to slide. Nope, it's just a driveway. Something special about my driveway. She just was scared to park her car. She just said, I'm scared. Could somebody come help me? And she used that word scared, which instantly infuriated me because we just call every woman describing their emotions as scared. And
I'm going to give you a check mark for that. Good observation about today's young people. Check mark for you, Candace Owens. People have no idea what fear is. You know what fear is? Fear is what the animals go through, because they're living in Holocaust-like conditions for their entire lives. And then, because of people like you, they get lowered into gas chambers in the same way that the Nazis murdered the Jews. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Pretty scary, Candace. I mean, it's pretty scary watching your family members line up and having their throats cut, which is what happens to the cows that you eat. Hopefully, by the end of this video, you're going to tell me that you're vegan. I really hope so. If aliens came to Earth and really wanted to eat you, would you say, no problem, and let them take a bite out of your mom and dad too? If you wouldn't want aliens to hurt you, then leave the animals alone. Don't eat them, don't wear them, don't use them, or take over their home. Leave the animals the fuck alone.
then she was scared to back it out of the driveway, and then she was scared to take my son to the park because what if she got lost? And this is a 30-year-old adult woman.
30? I thought you said young girl. Okay, this time it's a 30-year-old woman. Okay, that's strange.
What do you mean? This is 2023. You're not exactly having to print out MapQuest instructions. You're not exactly having to pull over to a gas station. It's quite literally the park is one turn away from my house. It's one turn. And she said, you know, what happens if I get lost? I said, do you have Waze? Do you have Google Maps?
Like you have to drive to the park? Oh, that's a shame. That's too bad. Wonder why she didn't buy a house closer to a park, or what's going on there where she lives. There should be a park in every single neighborhood that everyone can walk to, even if it's a tiny park. People should be getting in the cars and driving to parks. That's too bad.
Do you have a cell phone? It was such a bizarre conversation for me to be having with an adult female that she was scared.
What does the fact that she's female have to do with it? Adult's female. Wouldn't it be bizarre if that was an adult male as well? I think so.
She was going to get lost, having to commit to one turn to get to the park. And of course, you know, this doesn't exactly make you feel comfortable to leave this person with your child if they're fearful to operate a vehicle, if they're fearful on how to get somewhere because they're scared that they might get lost. It's basically children that are watching children. And again, how does this relate to this weekend? Well, because I always think about this, these sorts of young women that I am seeing coming up in contrast to our dead relatives. Every time I have a conversation with someone, or when someone tells me what they're dealing with, or how tired they are, or how upset they are and how long their work week was, I always just pause and think, I wonder if that person had explained what their week was, their long week was, to their dead great-grandfather, assuming their great-grandfather is dead. What would your dead great-grandfather say to you? What was your great-grandfather's life like? What was a long day for your great-grandfather?
Check mark. Good job. Absolutely. You're 100% right that we need to think about how lucky we are right now, how fortunate we are, and how pathetic so many people are, how terrified of things, and how we're just not used to taking responsibility. I remember when my kids were little and they were just becoming teenagers is when cell phones were just coming out and the internet and all that. And my kids' friends' parents, yes, they would always pick them up and drive them everywhere. Meanwhile, I was telling my kids, no, you could take your bike, it's fine. Or if you take the bus, don't worry, you have a cell phone. If you get lost, it'll be an adventure. Because I wasn't really worried about stuff like that. When I grew up, I was allowed to be free. We would just basically go out in the morning and come back when it was dark, or come back when we had to go to the bathroom, or when we were hungry. We had a lot of freedom, and we got to be a little adventurous. Yeah, and I think that kids don't really have that so much anymore. That I think you're right about, Candace.
Like, or your great-grandmother like. Would you be embarrassed if they rose from the dead and you could have a conversation with them and you explain to them how tired you were because, I don't know, maybe you're an editor and I had to cut videos all week on this computer, this very fancy $2,000 computer and all of these apps, and I'm just exhausted. I'm so tired, great-grandpa. It's just an exhausting day. 5 days of working in a row. I had to work 7 days in a row this week because I didn't finish a project at work, and we've just been completely slanted. I just need like a mental health day. We're pathetic. We're all just so pathetic.
You know, I have to admit that I kind of bought into that when my kids were little at one point. They would say to me, I really don't want to go to school today. And I was always torn because I sent them to school and I was always thinking maybe I should be homeschooling them. So if they did want to have a mental health day or whatever, a day off, I would say, that's okay, you can stay home. And as long as you're reading and learning, just, lay on the couch, read all day, learn, get a bit of exercise, walk the dog, and that would be fine. Now that after those, I became a teacher, I realized that's not the most fair thing for teachers in a way, because when I do send my kid back the next day, they've missed a bunch of different things. They've missed some pages and missed some important stuff. So I know from a teacher's perspective, it's not that easy. If you get 5 kids taking a mental health day and then they all come back and say, what are we doing? Where are we? I don't understand. And then you got to repeat stuff. But, I see what you're saying.
We can't even boil noodles. We've just become so pathetic. Women don't know how to take care of the house. Men are wimpy and don't know how to do things that men should know how to do.
What exactly should men know how to do versus women, Candace?
And it becomes especially frustrating to me when you juxtapose it against the men of yesteryear. Like on a weekend, Memorial Day, when you look around and you pause for a second and you examine humans today and you think about those men who sacrificed their lives, and for what? I wasn't frustrated with the experience that I'm having with these flowers. I call these babysitters, she's a flower, another flower. I don't know, I'm so scared, I'm so timid.
I wonder if that's an insult to flowers.
I don't know. The noodles, is it hard enough? Do you want to see the noodle? Like these women, these flowers, I think about them, I get frustrated. And then on Memorial Day, I open my phone. Big mistake, I shouldn't do it because I'm already in such reverence and in awe of the people that sacrificed their lives. And then I open the news and I see more of humanity today. And this weekend, what popped up into my face in Daily Mail was a headline about Emily Ratajkowski. Happy Memorial Day from Hollywood, it read.
I don't know who that is. I probably should know who that is, but I'm not really up on pop culture. Let me know in the comments.
Mark Wahlberg and Cole Hauer remember the brave, cool, as Emily Ratajkowski poses in a bikini to celebrate the 3-day weekend. Oh, yay! How do you show your respect for those that are dead and have sacrificed their life? Put on your bikinis, girls! Go on Instagram! Make sure your boobs and your butt are out. Love it! Love it! It's all about the long weekend. Headline after.
Okay, good job, Candace. Check mark for sarcasm. Good work. It's true. It's pathetic.
Headline of women in Hollywood posing in their bikinis to celebrate the long weekend. And I was infuriated. My instinct Memorial Day to get my flag at my house to half-mast. Other people's instinct, well, I could garner some likes if I get half naked. Yay!
I'm going to give you another check mark because you're absolutely right. We should be thinking of those who defended our countries. Now, I'm Canadian, happen to be in Italy right now, but I totally get what you're saying. People really did put their lives at risk and had friends around them die to fight for our freedom, something that we take far too for granted now.
I hate us. I hate you. I hate everybody. Honestly, this is what I was going to mention. I just hate her. I hate her for this. I hate women on the internet for this.
Not too many people say that they hate others, Candace, though. Isn't Candace a Christian woman, though? I mean, hey, I'm not Christian. Well, I am sometimes when I choose to be. But in general, I don't use that as the title. And as my title, I don't walk around and say, I'm a Christian woman. Whereas you do, though, Candace. So, are you allowed to hate somebody as a Christian? I think that's going to be an X for you, Candace. No hating allowed as a good Christian woman.
I hate the culture of America today.
It's okay to hate the culture. That's okay.
I mean, we are just...
in fact, I'm going to give you a check mark for hating the culture of America today. Yeah, that I'm going to give you a check mark for.
It's not serious people.
That is for sure. They are not serious people at all. Most people are an embarrassment.
I think that's the best way to say it. That reminds me of a quote that I actually just heard. You're watching Succession, no spoilers here, but there is this moment where the father, the patriarch of the family, looks at his 3 kids, the spawn of his billion-dollar empire, and he says, you're just not serious people. None of you. And that's how I feel.
Yeah, but that dad is a bit of an asshole. Maybe you're going to mention that too. It's not always that our elders are better. Our elders are smarter. Our elders are not always worthy of this kind of respect that you're talking about. But the quote, taken on its own, I agree. I'm going to give you a check mark for that.
When I look at Hollywood today, and I look at Instagram, and I look at these flowers everywhere, I think none of you are serious people. And then somebody showed me this clip of a World War II veteran. His name was Carl Sperlin Deckel. He was a United States Marine during World War II, and he was discussing the world that he was seeing today. Now, he recently passed, and this video is from 2 years ago, but I think it's important to share it with the world because it's his perspective about all that he fought for and those very things that his friends and colleagues died for. Take a listen.
Okay.
We haven't got the country we had when I was raised. Not at all. Nobody will have the fun I had. Nobody will have the opportunity I had. It's just not the same. That's not what I was. That's not what they died for. It's just not it. I'm so sorry.
It's absolutely gut-wrenching to hear him say that. It is not what they died for. And that is my perspective. It just, none of this is what they died for. I don't even know what we're doing anymore when people can't even have basic respect.
You're right. We need to have basic respect for one another if those people are good. We need to tolerate each other more than have respect for each other. To me, I see respect as being like an admiration, that you want to be like somebody. So I don't think that we necessarily have to respect everyone. We have to tolerate them. But we should be kind to everyone, and that includes the animals. Candace, hopefully you are not going to be continuing to steal baby boy cows from their mothers, which is what you do. It's what you pay people to do every time you feed your kid some kind of cheese, some kind of milk, yogurt, ice cream. That needs to stop. Okay? And also the feeding of the flesh. You can easily buy anything else in the stores, any of thousands of other ingredients. You don't need to go anywhere near the corpses. You don't need to go there. Okay? Google healthy vegan doctors, healthy vegan dietitians. Go and Google healthy vegan diets and vegan recipes, and you will see that there are so many things that you can eat, Candace, which don't involve death. Everything. Just start putting on your plate more lentils, more chickpeas, more beans, and just crowd out all the animal products a little bit at a time. You'll see. You'll feel so much better too. I mean, if you're against death and you're for tradition, the type of tradition that you're talking about is to be kind. Kindness is a traditional value. Okay, so go and check that out.
On Memorial Day, when for them it just means that they get a long weekend because they really need it. Because it's just been, I mean, it's like I've been working 5 days in a row and just had my weekends. And this long weekend, I really just need a break so I can ply myself with alcohol while wearing a bikini and posting on Instagram. We are not a serious people, and it's not what they died for. And that's all I have to say about that.
Okay.
All right, guys,
Good
it's
point.
finally summer here in Nashville. And when the weather is this nice, I love to grill out in the backyard with my family.
What? She likes to grill out in the backyard with her family. Candace, this better be something vegan. Because you know, if you start talking about promoting meat, you automatically fail. I'm scared to look. I know the Daily Wire often does ads for meat. And hopefully you have the guts, Candace, to say to them, you know what, I like working here, but I'm not going to promote these products.
Family. Right now, I am loving Omaha steaks. They have great...
Fuck you. Remember this, Candace? Remember that? We just looked at that at the beginning of the video. What is your problem? What is your problem? X, giant fail. Unbelievable. Grown woman who talks about values all day long. Talks about how we need to be good, how we need to be Christian, how we need to not hurt others and use our brains. And yet, here she is, fearful, too fearful to stand up to the Daily Wire and tell Shapiro and all that gang that they should start promoting veganism. You fail. There you go. Big X for you, Candace Owens. Shame on you. Not proud of you. Do better. Be vegan from now on. The rest of you who are good people, kind people, brave people, I am so proud of you. Happy Vegan Declaration Day to everybody here who has gotten their 100 clicks. It takes 100 clicks to become vegan. Candace should know better, but she's taking forever. We're not giving up on her though. But you guys who know that you can be kind and healthy as vegans, those of you who know that there are vegans in the Olympics, those of you who know that you can be vegan at any stage of development, from infancy to being a grandparent, those of you who know that you were born vegan, because veganism in the end is not about food. It's about doing the least harm to the animals and to the environment that they live in. So, thank you to everybody who's decided to be vegan. And coming up on screen are going to be a bunch of other videos. Click on them. Be curious. Look around. There's over 2,000 videos, 2,100 I think. And give yourself a big hug if you're trying, okay? Because you got to give yourself a hug, because people come and go in your life. Sometimes you need a hug and you're thinking, I wish somebody could hug me. Just hug yourself. Give yourself a hug. Because, the world kind of sucks. Sometimes it really sucks. Sometimes people are mean, like what happened to me on TikTok. Somebody's stealing my identity. But anyway, I'm here for you guys if you need me. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Bye for now.
Let's follow that vegan teacher on YouTube right now. Let's help her save every